Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode was brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the Kids on Bikes role-playing game rules by Jonathan Gilmore and Doug Lewandowski. All content, including names, places, events, and etc., which may bear resemblance to entities living or dead, is strictly coincidental. And now, let's get to the fun. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways podcast. I would normally be your Keeper Michael, but we are doing a special side quest today. And for that side quest, I'll be turning the table and control over to our very own Miranda. So, Miranda, take it away.
As Mike said, today we're going to be playing Kids on Bikes, a game where players take on the roles of everyday people, grappling with strange, terrifying, and exceptionally powerful foes that they probably can't defeat or control or maybe even understand. So I have 3 players with me today. So to my right.
Hi, I'm Rena, and tonight I'll be playing Lexi Barrett.
And across the virtual table.
Hi, I'm Al, and I'll be playing Greg Ramirez.
And to my left then.
Hi, my name is Mike, and I'll be playing Travis Royson.
Perfect. So we know who our characters are playing, but we are going to learn a little bit more about our characters and also the world in which they are operating in. So our game setting tonight is Eastwick, New Jersey, and it's 2003, 1 week before school lets out for the summer. And we have with us a group of kids who have survived another year in the massive meat grinder of Eastwick High School. Every weekend for 2 years, you all have piled into one kid's precious early 80s wood-paneled station wagon and driven around exploring weird, haunted, and otherwise spooky places you've read about in a magazine called What the Hell, New Jersey. Together, you've been to abandoned mental asylums and dark woods where evil ghosts supposedly lurk, and you've looked for the Jersey Devil. It's your way of being teenagers. What's a little innocent joyriding, right? Everyone agrees that something's a little off about your hometown of Eastwick. It's a place that holds on to its history and its inhabitants. 17th century churches with ivory-covered graveyards are sandwiched between gray and green Art Deco towers and sneaker shops. Thanks to the fact that the Harper sewing machine factory was based here, the people of Eastwick are as varied as its architecture. Newer Hispanic immigrants live side by side with older Polish, Italian, Portuguese, Russian, and German immigrants. A small number of indigenous people can still be found living alongside the WASPs who trace their ancestors back to the original colonizers. And even the African American community got a big boom in the 1920s due to the Great Migration. One fact of life brings them all together. No one leaves. Your family is measured by how long you've lived in Eastwick, and these connections can cross barriers of class, ethnicity, and religion. They can help you or hinder you, and they certainly define you. The longer you here, the more cred you have, and the more enemies. Just in time for summer, things have gotten seriously strange in Eastwick. When you picked the place out of the guidebook, you thought it would be just another adventure. But instead, none of you speak its name for fear that the things you saw were real. Now that you're back, things have begun to slowly get weirder. Power outages in town have become second nature. Have you brought something sinister back with you from your joyriding adventures, or has something been waiting for the right time? So, we have some questions to answer about our town, as well as questions to answer about ourselves and each other. So, why don't we start with our questions about the town? Now, Kids on Bike is a cooperative storytelling game, so we're going to build this story together. And I have some questions for the group of you. The first one is, what's the secret name of your group?
Secret name.
Greg and Friends.
Spookbusters.
Spookbusters.
This may help you a little bit. The next question is, what extracurricular activity brought you together as friends?
I do a lot of reading, so I don't know that.
Drama club.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Okay.
All right, so you all met in drama club, which is where your friendship formed. What do you guys call yourself then? What's your name in your group?
I was happy with Spookbusters.
Yeah. Let's just go with it.
Perhaps you met in drama club and as a stage performance of Ghostbusters.
Yes.
That they didn't have, they couldn't get the copyright for, so they retitled it Spookbusters.
And it was a musical, and none of us could sing. so we were always in the background making fun of all the lead actors.
What's the terrifying place outside of town that you've all visited together recently, which you now only refer to as the place?
Oh, there's a place called Blood's Point. It's an old farm road that led out of New Jersey about 20 or so years ago, and eventually got gobbled up by the local zoning laws, and so there's a bunch of abandoned roads back over there. It's basically like a old chunk of suburbia that no longer exists because no roads lead to it anymore.
Perfect. And my last question for the group is, who has the car and how did you guys get it?
I mean, it's probably mine because my parents give me stuff. Just like I get good grades and I get a car. This is like my third car.
In fact, yeah, you guys have been going and adventuring for the past 2 years and you're only 16, so that's probably why you've been through 3 cars.
And they're never home, so if I can drive, then they don't have to worry about me being at home alone, so it assuages their guilt and it gets me out of the house.
Perfect. Okay, so we are going to answer some questions about our characters and each other next. So we'll just start with the top of the table, which is Rena playing Lexi, correct?
Yes, Lexi Barrett.
All right, Lexi. Well, you have a couple of questions on your character sheet to help us kind of flesh out a little bit more information about Lexi Barrett. And the first of those is, how do you treat the unpopular kids?
I mean, I'm not a bully, because that's just lame. That's so 20 years ago. But, you know, they're just not worthy of my attention unless they do something interesting. Like, if they can get me cigarettes, maybe I'll talk to them. Maybe. But, you know, if they're just gonna follow me around and try to bask in my popularity, well, you know, I'm not gonna talk.
Beyond people wanting to impress you and the social capital that brings, what do you like about being popular?
Well, you get a lot of people taking your picture and talking about you on social media, which, if you want to be a social media influencer in the future, is really great for setting up your brand because you're already noticed. And, you know, you can get teachers to do things for you sometimes if you know the right buttons to push or get the right people to ask. So, you know, maybe my grades have been a little nudged up here and there when I need a new car, maybe. And it's just who I'm meant to be. I am fulfilling my destiny by being popular.
Perfect. And Diesel, you said you're playing Greg?
Yes, Greg Ramirez.
So Greg Ramirez, what do you do that always lightens your friends' moods?
I think that Greg is a prankster. He enjoys, pretty harmless pranks and stuff. Nothing that would be too serious. But he likes water balloons. He likes snakes popping out of peanut cans, things like that. But he's always the first to be the butt of his own jokes.
What does being the sidekick role frustrate you about?
It's a little frustrating because Greg feels like he has a lot to offer and that he has a lot of skills, but it seems like he doesn't really have the limelight. It's just about whatever jokes he can make and how he can make people laugh, and so he would really like to be the star of the show, at least for a moment.
All right, and turning the camera to Travis. Travis, what do you think is happening in the town that no one knows about?
I mean, it's pretty clear that the town itself has become encapsulated by several overarching grand conspiracies. So from the fact that the town was built on a Masonic graveyard to the fact that underneath the local water processing plant, there's clearly a doorway to hell. And then to wrap all of that up, that every second Tuesday of the month at 11 o'clock, all the phones go dead for 2 minutes. It's not just simply a coincidence that this stuff keeps happening. And nobody knows about it because they won't really listen to me. And if they just listen, right? But for whatever reason, they don't.
How far would Travis go to prove that he's right?
I think Travis would be willing to go, if he had proof, the real proof, beyond just these disparate threads he's desperate to connect. I think Travis would go as far as going to jail over it.
Right. So let's establish some relationships between you guys. So how we're going to do this is you are going to roll and answer a question, either in a positive or negative light about one of your friends. And then they are going to roll and answer a question about you from the opposite table, because relationships are complex. And so if you choose to have some sort of positive piece from your background with that person be revealed, then they will be revealing something negative that happened between you two. And we'll go around the table in that manner. So coming back around to Lexi, would you like to establish a positive or negative relationship with either Greg or Travis?
A positive relationship with Travis, I think.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so go ahead and roll a d20. And the way we're going to do this is one of the suggested ways is you'll roll a number. You can either answer that question or the question above or below it, so you're not confined to one question.
Okay, so I rolled a 10
Okay.
on the positive table.
Mm-hmm.
And that question is, what is this character sacrificing to protect you? And I think the first time Lexi crashed her car, Travis told the cops that he'd been the one driving, because if she got in trouble for crashing the car, then her parents wouldn't get her another one, so they wouldn't be able to keep driving around, but also because she's a little bit scared of her dad's anger issues, and Travis knows that. So Travis took the fall for the car crash.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Well then, Travis, you're going to roll on the negative table for something that happened with Lexi.
All right. So I rolled 15. What insanity has this character shown warning signs of? Beyond like the megalomaniacal portion of her character makeup, which is clear to literally everyone she interacts with. I mean, beyond all of that, I would say that there's clearly some she's working on a potential, like, she may have some maybe have some mommy or daddy issues there that they're a little uncovered. But yeah, I think I would probably go with the megalomania part, because that's the most clear and present. Because she doesn't even talk to some of these people that she sees at school. Like, if they don't do their, if they don't sit up and beg or do their dog trick or whatever, she doesn't pay any attention to them.
Right.
This is how she is.
So having had your hand forced into a negative relationship with Lexi, how does Travis feel about Greg? Would he see him in a positive light, or possibly want to unveil something negative?
I think that he and Greg have a positive relationship.
Okay, yeah, so roll on the positive table.
So I rolled an 18. When did you first realize that you loved this character, either platonically or romantically? So I think that it's a platonic relationship. And I think the reason why is Greg reminds him a lot of his little brother. Not that he has a little brother, but he reminds him of the kid who's plays pranks on people or tries to get people's attention because maybe he needs that spotlight, that limelight. And so maybe it's from like a point of, like, not pity's the wrong word, more just like he knows he needs a friend. And the truth is probably much more close to the fact that Travis knows he doesn't have a whole lot of friends, because he knows he knows things other people don't, and for those people realize it freaks them out that Travis knows these truths. So that's probably why.
Okay, then Greg, go ahead and roll a d20 on the negative table for how you feel, or at least an aspect of how you feel about Travis.
I'm going to go with 11. It's right next to my 12 that I rolled. What does this character do that makes you immediately lose your temper? I think that at times Travis can make Greg feel a little small, and like Greg doesn't contribute, that Greg is really the sidekick for Travis's quest to go uncover these dark truths, and that he's not very, very important to what's going on. His opinion doesn't matter, or that Greg couldn't do it on his own. He makes him feel a little bit too much like a little brother, when Greg would prefer a much more we're brothers type of relationship.
Makes sense.
And would you like to establish a positive or negative relationship with Lexi?
Well, I think negative will be a little bit more fun.
Okay.
So, what did this character do in the past that you still resent them for? And I think that at one point, Lexi just cut Greg down to size. Like, just shoot him out. Like, he made him feel all the ways in which he really does feel, which is that he is not important to the group, that he's just there as a sidekick, he's just there to make funny jokes. And so overall, his contributions are not considered to be important or...
Okay, and what about Lexi to Greg?
So it has to be a positive one.
It sure does, yeah.
Boy. Okay. Let's see. So, 15. What do you and this character have a mutual weird love of? I think we both have a love of weird, cheesy, like, D-level horror movies. Like, I don't think Sharknado was around back in 2003, but that kind of thing with, creature features where the CGI is horrible and the acting is terrible, and it's just so ridiculous. But it's really fun to watch together and make fun of, and occasionally reenact scenes. Though Greg has been sworn to silence on this aspect of things, and under pain of death cannot reveal it to anyone else outside the group. But she has chased him around the house with a rubber shark at one point.
So I didn't tell you guys about this beforehand, but there is a fourth member of your group, Samantha. Can you guys each tell me something about Samantha?
Samantha has an extremely strong Boston accent.
Hold on, I gotta get into it. The boat floats on water. Yeah, okay, I think I can do that. Nope, that's the wrong one.
That's Minnesota.
What was it? Pakakad and Harvard Yard. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. She's also clearly the tallest person here. She's 6'1" and plays volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also really, really bad at school, and is constantly trying to beg off our notes or our filled out answers to take home tests and things, especially for history and English, because she prefers to be outside and doing things and isn't a big fan of studying. She thinks she's going to get a sports scholarship, so she doesn't need it.
Yeah, what happened the last time she was caught cheating?
I think she got benched for a week, and that was the most traumatizing event she's ever been through in her life. At least to hear her tell it is.
Well, luckily for me and everyone listening to this, you guys actually haven't seen Samantha since you came back from your trip out to Blood's Point. So, just a little bit about Kids on Bikes before we kind of get into it. To give everyone at home just kind of an overview of Kids on Bikes and the stats and just a couple of the rules and features of the game. Each character has 6 stats: charm, brains, fight, grit, brawn, and flight. And for each of those stats, they have assigned or have been assigned to them a different die value. So the higher the die value, a d20 obviously being the best, that means you are better at that stat, whereas a d4 being the lowest would be that's a stat that you're probably the worst at. But that doesn't mean that you can't be good at something that you aren't great at all the time. One feature of Kids on Bikes is exploding dice. So even if you have a d4, you could roll an 8 or a 12 just by your dice exploding. So if you roll the top number on a dice, you get to roll again and add that number onto your roll for as many times as it happens. If you fail a roll, you gain an adversity token, and you're all going to start with 1 adversity token. So you can mark that down. You can use adversity tokens to increase a roll by 1 or to utilize your strengths. So as teenagers, you're all rebellious. That's a strength that you all have. But some of you have other features, whether it's being loyal or lucky or prepared or protective. You can use adversity tokens in different ways. If you plan things out, others can help you with their adversity tokens. Whereas if you're making a snap decision, others cannot help you out with their adversity tokens. You also, for planned action, have the option to take half of your max die, which is helpful if you have a d20. And possibly most importantly, characters who do not have any hit points, every combat has the possibility of death because it is entirely based on the roll of the attacker versus the roll of the defender. And if the attacker rolls high enough above the defender, they get hurt pretty bad. So that's something to keep in mind when you enter into combat with someone, is that you're always one roll away from death. So other than that, do you guys have any questions before we start playing?
No.
One last thing. Kids on Bike is a cooperative storytelling game, so there will be times where I'll ask you to take narrative control, or you can just take narrative control and you can add fun little bits in that you think would be cool. So if you want to go visit Old Man Smithers down at the Haunted Amusement Park because you think he may have a clue as to what's going on, or if you have a neighbor 2 houses down that is your occult mentor and keeps all of these occult books in his basement, that's totally fine. I'm up for you adding in any story features that are going to be fun. So this is a cooperative storytelling game. We'll be telling this story together. So let's start playing. As I said, the last time you saw Samantha was when you went out to Blood's Point. And it's been strange that she's been gone, but she may be out sick or possibly recovering from a volleyball injury, who knows. Regardless, you're all excited that it is the end of the school year with just a week left to go. And yearbooks have been handed out this year. So I would imagine you're all hanging out in homeroom together, getting your yearbooks passed back to you.
Out of character, I didn't go to school, so I'm a little unsure of what a yearbook is.
How many movies have you seen about high school? Because it's just what we're rolling. It's a book you get at the end of the school year that has everyone's pictures in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it also has like candid pictures from any elective classes like computer or shop class.
Pictures of all the sports team, and you hand them around and you sign each other's yearbooks.
Yeah. And
say what a long strange trip it's been.
Or you go into the yearbook and you say, I didn't like, Mark, and so I'm gonna like X his face out in my yearbook. Or you're gonna go in and circle all the people you do like. Or
this sounds like a Taylor Swift song.
It's a lot like a Taylor Swift song.
Okay. Sorry for the interruption.
Nope, that's fine.
I was homeschooled.
You didn't have a homeschool yearbook? Your family's pictures in it?
Well, we had something like that for the homeschool co-op, but it wasn't exactly that. But people did give signatures, so that makes sense to me. Okay.
Well, we may have listeners who themselves did not go to a public school and get a yearbook, so maybe they wouldn't know what it is either. So it's good to clarify.
Okay.
But yes, I'm currently with my yearbook open, rifling through and listing people into categories. So whether they're complete sleepers, whether they're open to the opportunity to be woke up, as I would say, or awakened. And then I'm also marking down the people who are clearly working for the Illuminati.
I'm sitting perched on the edge of a table, like really cool, with one foot on the ground, just the tip. And I've got about 30 people all around me, all wanting to sign my yearbook. And I'm maybe signing 2 or 3 of theirs in return. But everyone is just crowding around. And I'm acting like, oh, don't get so close. Oh, you flatter me. No, but I'm really signing big, loopy cursive, my name all over the front page.
Yeah, I am also signing yearbooks and exchanging signatures. Greg is writing "Smell You Later" in every yearbook, regardless of how much he likes the person. In fact, he writes even more about how much he's going to be smelling you later if he likes you more.
Well, as Travis is going through yearbooks, categorizing people, he would certainly notice that there seem to be some students missing out of this yearbook. Samantha in particular, but also several other kids don't seem to be featured here.
Like their pictures aren't even in the class lineup?
Their pictures aren't in the class lineup. Their names aren't listed. And if you flip to the volleyball photos, you don't see Samantha anywhere.
I think Travis immediately gets paranoid because it's literally in his wheelhouse to be paranoid. It's not that he didn't start the day paranoid or continue the day through homeroom paranoid, but now like the irrational fear of the snake people having eaten Samantha is becoming reality in his head. And so he begins making yet another list of the people who are missing from the yearbook. And I'll probably go closer to Greg as he's continuing to sign Smell You Later. And I will nudge him gently. I'm not very strong, but I'll nudge him a bit and go, hey, Samantha's not here. She's missing from the book. Did you see that?
Yeah, I totally noticed that. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's not just her. There's other people.
Who else is it? Is it anyone that we can see right now missing?
I look around the room.
Everyone that's in the room is in the yearbook, but now that you mention it, Jesse Simpson is usually in homeroom, and he's not here today, and he's not in the yearbook. You don't really remember the last time he was at school either. And Melody Pierce, same thing, has been out for a while. You thought maybe they moved or transferred, but they aren't in the yearbook at all.
Yeah, I don't see Jesse or Melody here either. And I mean, Simpson's one I've been keeping an eye. I noticed him in one of my classes, and so I'm pretty sure he hasn't transferred or anything.
Yeah, I was gonna write Smell You Later in Melody's book. I was gonna tell her I kind of like her, but also to tell Jesse how I don't like him.
Smell You Later is a versatile phrase like that.
It really is.
So I guess I'll wait until the queen is done holding court to advise her that several of her subjects have gone missing. But yeah, I'm probably looking in her direction with a bit of a pensive eagerness, but I'm doing it from afar. And so there's probably that natural kind of creepiness that Travis gives off in that regard to anybody except people who are friends with him. And so this would probably creep out a lot of people, but it might not creep out her so much because she knows I'm just eager to give her some information.
Well, I finished signing and getting signatures from everyone in the room. And then I walk over to Travis and yes, don't bother me right now. I'm on important business kind of air. Yes, Travis? What's up?
We got some people missing. Have you noticed that? I probably lean over with my yearbook and you see just gobs of notes. I've just gotten it. And now 60% of the class has line item notes on each one of their pictures. And then there's another in the margin in that little probably 1.5 or 2 inch margin of white. There are a list of names that have appeared.
God, Travis, you better hope no one else sees this or they're going to lock you up.
Yeah, well, they'd have to find me first. But anyway, Samantha is not here.
I know she's not here. We haven't seen her in a couple weeks.
No, but look, I flipped through the pages to the volleyball section. She's not in the volleyball picture either.
Okay, that's weird.
Right.
She was in every picture. Whenever the photographers were out taking pictures, she was shoving her way into every shot.
So I flip back to the class. Jesse Simpson's photo's not in here either. He hasn't transferred classes or schools to my knowledge, and neither is Melody Pierce. So we've got missing people in the yearbook. They're not here either. I kind of cast my arm and book out in a dramatic fashion across the classroom. Something is going on.
Lexi, this might be a body snatcher situation. You remember that one?
Oh, yeah. So, do we have to go around asking them all questions that only they would know the answer to?
Yeah, probably. Well, first we have to find them. They might have just snatched their bodies. That's what I meant.
Well, listen, it may not be Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but it certainly isn't going to be Not Another Teen Movie. And I know the two of you have seen that.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as Man Who Fell to Earth. Man Who Fell to Earth was a lot more interesting in what they tried to do. But, okay, so it's really weird that Samantha's missing. But, I mean, Jesse, who cares? He was just D tier, phys ed, all that sort of thing. But, do you think we should talk? Who does the yearbook around here anyway?
The yearbook teacher, Mr. Franz. German accent. You can't miss him.
There's a teacher for yearbook. Out of character.
Out of character, yes. There's a class you can take.
Oh yeah, for real.
Yes, those kids take pictures. They're responsible for taking all the candid pictures and then doing the layout for the yearbook for it to be printed.
It's a class.
Yes, it's a class.
That's wild. Okay. All right. Do you think we should go ask Mr. Franz then? Because, I mean, he would know, right? Because he has to list out all the students and make sure their picture gets taken for the lineup.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot easier than getting into the office to look at any sort of records. I don't know how many times I've been in that place, but I think the administrative offices have a bead on me at this point.
Now, maybe Travis, we can go talk to Mr. Franz, and then, depending on what he tells us, like, what if he doesn't know who Samantha is? What if he has no record of her? Then we look in the records office.
I probably get really, really wide-eyed.
Lexi likes stoking Travis's paranoia. It's entertaining.
He probably knows who Samantha is. He probably just messed it up.
But if he doesn't, then we have a plan.
Okay, so, Your Highness, lead the way. I kind of point out the door.
Greg, you are not signing my book this year. I don't want another smell you later across page 3. Thank you very much.
We'll see about that. The book's going to exist for a long time.
So I shove the yearbook into my bag and just walk out, not even looking to see if they're following me, because I just expect them to follow me.
Yeah, I'll follow her out, if only to get out of homeroom and get to yearbook to speak with Mr. Franz.
Like a good sidekick, I follow along.
So I'll go down to his office. I assume I would know where that is. I mean, does he teach other things or just yearbook? How does this work?
No, they're usually like the photography teacher,
Okay.
Maybe like the librarian. They have other classes.
They may not even have an office per se. They may just have a classroom that
Okay.
they work out of, depending on how big the high school is.
Okay, so whatever room he's likely to be in, go find Mr. Franz with his heavy German accent.
Yes, guten Tag. Enter students.
Oh, hey.
Franzi, baby, how you doing? It's been a long time since study hall. But I just had a couple questions for you, man, which...
I do not feel like it has been long enough.
That hurts me, Franz, and you know that it does. Listen, we just noticed some discrepancies between the yearbook and what we know actually attended school here. Have you noticed that at all? Like printing issue? What do you think? 'Cause
No, I do not know what it is that you speak of.
I opened the book up.
you know Samantha, right? And Melody and Jesse, like they should be in here, right? Melody's in that study hall that we had together.
I believe you are mistaken.
No, he's not mistaken. I kind of flip open the yearbook again. Samantha's missing.
Gentlemen,
And
you are definitely mistaken.
I glance at Travis, just like, see?
it's not a mistake. You can't take a 6. Where are you going to hide her, Franz? Where are you going to hide her in the book? She's 6'1". She's got to be in this picture somewhere. I flip back to the volleyball page. You can't miss her.
Luke,
I am your
Samantha
father.
I'm aiming for Arnold Schwarzenegger, even though I know he's not German.
He's Austrian, sure.
But it's the only thing that I can get close to in my mind. It's either that or the kid from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory who loves chocolate.
Augustus.
Yes. Look, no Samantha ever went to school here. You are clearly mistaken.
Wait, huh?
Now, I highly suggest you head back to class. I assume you don't even have passes to come here.
Hey, it's a free country. We don't need any passes to go anywhere in about a week.
Well, that may be true, but you're flying real close to a detention here. What would that be, your 16th in a row?
Hey, 18. You got to get the count right.
He's working really hard for 20 because he hears that when you hit 20, you get a free donut.
You know, what is wrong with you children today?
Franzi,
Can't you just go to class, learn things? That is what school is for. This is a learning establishment.
look, Franzi, we don't want you to get in trouble with the principal, so we'll head out. I know we're friends. I know you don't want to give us attention. I know that you're just trying to stay out of trouble yourself. You're my best friend, Franz. I'll talk to you later, man.
Never gonna make Franzi catch on. It's just not gonna happen. I say as we walk out the door.
You hear shouting behind you. It is Professor Franz.
In just a week, you can make a nickname catch on. And I think that's what's going to happen.
I'm trying for 3 months, dude.
It just needs another week.
I think your idea of the Franz was better, personally.
I mean, he does wear leather.
Too much.
I mean, not here, not here in class. Anyway, the point is, we've got 3 missing students.
Okay, we're gonna have to talk a bit later about where he wears leather because I need this information in case I need to get out of detention sometime. So, missing students. Yes, right. Samantha's missing. Franz doesn't seem to know that she exists.
He went above that. He said that she never went to school here.
He said that no Samantha has ever gone to this school, which seems a little strange because this school's been here for at least like 100 years, and you'd think that there'd be at least one Samantha.
Yeah, so...
He's usually such a sweetie, too. He's got a soft heart.
Do you think there's like some vengeful ghost named Samantha going around erasing all the Samanthas from this school?
No, because why would Melody and Jesse be gone, too?
Well, there could also be ghosts named Melody and Jesse. We don't know that.
That'd be quite a coincidence. But we won't rule it out.
Or maybe one of them was trying to erase the Samanthas and got someone else by accident.
We're going to have to check records. It's the
All
only
right.
place.
Yep, records.
And by the way, they're not going to let me in there, just FYI.
I mean, how did you normally get it? Did you just walk in and say, I want to see the records?
No, not at all. Do you have any idea how sturdy the steel girders are above the drop ceiling in this school? Very. And I'm a rather slight fellow. I kind of gesture a bit. I'm not tall. I'm pretty nimble.
You just dive under them?
No, not at all. I got an idea. Greg, give me a boost. I'm going to walk around to like the rather quiet hallway. And I look up at the ceiling tiles in the school.
I hope this idea doesn't get Greg's nose broken like your last idea.
No, well...
My mom say it looks better. It looks better now.
It does, really. But I wouldn't recommend that kind of cosmetic surgery. If you do want that kind of cosmetic surgery, I know a guy.
Here's the plan. You two are going to go into the administrative offices down the hallway there. And you're going to get Betty, the secretary, there to hold her attention. I don't care what you have to do, but hold her attention. The records room is just beyond the secretarial area. I'm going to walk above the ceiling here and get down over there and then just drop into position. You keep her busy. I'll go look in the records and then I'll slowly make my way out afterwards, okay? That's the plan.
So, we're the bait.
Yeah, just don't get eaten.
Cool.
It's all right. Betty and I get along famously.
Do you?
Yeah.
I feel like you say that about everybody we go talk to, and then it turns out you get along more like infamously.
Well, what happened was Bronzy was having a bad day or something. I don't know. Maybe they snatched his mind up.
That's possible.
Normally, he's a lot cooler than that.
I don't think he's ever smiled, but, you know, it'd be really hard to tell if the aliens snatched it.
You gotta give him a chance. He's a nice guy.
Leather, apparently. All right, so let's go distract Betty.
We got to hoist me up first, Greg.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
Can you do that, Greg? I don't want to chip a nail.
Yeah, I got it.
Just got the gel done yesterday.
Yeah, we don't want you to chip a nail, princess.
Okay, so I'm going to have him boost me up and then I'm going to push the tile over and then basically grab onto the struts that run the ceiling and try to use them as a walking path to get down to the administrative offices.
Yeah, and Greg can do that because he's one of those deceptively brawny kids.
Nice.
Wiry strength.
Is that what it is?
Okay. So he can certainly boost Travis up into the ceiling.
Cool. I'll close the ceiling tile behind me as best I can. And then go into my backpack, pull out my flashlight, and then kind of crouch down and slowly make my way, living out, obviously my Breakfast Club dreams here of climbing through the ceiling.
Yep. And Lexi and Greg head to the front office to speak with the secretary, Betty Poole. Hello, children. What can I do for you?
Good afternoon, Mrs. Poole.
Yes, Lexi. What can I do for you today?
My mom called and said she didn't get a copy of my report card for the last trimester, and she wanted me to come get a copy of it.
Okay, well,
because my next car is going to run based off my grades this year, and they have to start figuring out how much money that they're going to put into the account for me to get the car. So she wants my report card.
Well, yes, of course I should be able to get a copy of that for you. It'll just be a moment. And Mr. Ramirez, was there something that you needed as well, or were you just escorting Lexi here?
Just want to stop by, chat, see how you're doing, Betty. Want to see if you caught the OC last night?
I do not watch TV. Books are more my style. But if it's well, just one moment. I'll go back into the records room and grab.
Did you read the OC last night?
No.
What'd you read last night?
I've been reading Wuthering Heights.
Oh, yeah, with that cat, Heathcliff.
Seriously, how did you even pass English last year? Like, that was such a great book. We had it in Mr. Henderson's English class last year, and I really think that Emily Bronte is the best of all the Bronte sisters, personally.
I don't believe Mr. Ramirez did pass English last year. Not that you heard that here.
Greg, you didn't tell us that.
It never came up.
You said you passed English. And you said that you had to take a different English class than me this year because it didn't fit with your time schedule to be in the one with me like you normally take.
Yeah, because I had to do the other one because I failed English.
So you have to reread Wuthering Heights.
Well, I don't know why they named him after a cat.
And I try to share that look with the secretary of just
yes, you make direct eye contact.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm sure he'll do a lot better this year.
Possibly. Okay, well, I will head off to the records room then to get that copy of your report card.
No. I think we need to settle this, what's going on with you. This is why I came to you. I need academic advice and help, tutoring. So you should probably just talk to me about this, what's going on with this cat, this Heathcliff, and this Wuthering Heights.
Well, I can certainly locate a list of school-approved tutors for you, if you would like.
Yeah, is the list of school-approved tutors like here, right here, where you are right now, or is it in the back?
No, I believe I have it in a drawer here somewhere.
Okay, well, yeah, let's find that.
She'll start rifling through her drawers to see if she can find something.
Man, it would be so much easier if you could put all of these documents and things onto like some kind of device where you could just print them or send them to people. Wouldn't that be cool?
I don't read science fiction, dear.
Think of all the trees you'd save.
Cut to Travis in the back, Mission Impossibling his way through the ceiling. You really just see ceiling dust falling in a line down the hallway towards the records room. But you find yourself above a vent above the records room.
I look down through the vent.
You don't see anything, but you do hear the charming voices of your two friends in the next room over discussing Wuthering Heights and a failed English class with one Miss Betty Poole.
All right, well, they've got her going for sure then. Yeah, I do my best with my pocket screwdriver to remove the vent on this side and slowly, carefully take it off and place it up here.
Mm-hmm.
And then look down like with half my head through the vent, like
Yes.
Look down into the room.
Yeah, it seems pretty empty right now. There's just rows and rows of filing cabinets where student records are presumably kept.
All right. I dip down into the room then, and then start looking over the filing cabinets and try to get an idea of their structure. So I'm basically going to look for, we're 16, so we're sophomores or juniors.
Ish, yeah.
Ish. So I go to those grade levels, and then I go to those grade levels, and then I look for Samantha's file.
Yes, so you can find them. The files are organized by class year and then by alphabetical order, and you can locate the filing cabinet that should have Samantha's information in it. But when you open it, you are flipping through files, and you can find the spot where she should be alphabetically, but her file's not there.
Okay, I cross-reference it with Simpson's file and see if Jesse Simpson's file's here.
Jesse Simpson's file's also not.
Okay, Pierce's file, Melody Pierce. Any luck there?
Nope.
That's not good. Is there anybody else that I would have noticed offhand? I'm just going to double check ours.
Your files are still there.
Okay. So we haven't suddenly become a missing person just yet. Good to know.
But go ahead and roll me a brains check.
Sure. That's a D20 for me. Smarty pants. And that is a 17.
All right. So you notice a couple of things. For one, as you're checking through your files, you notice a strange marking next to Greg's name on his file. It's almost like an X with a line across the top and the bottom, so like an hourglass shape that is angular. You also notice, as you look down the line of filing cabinets, a filing cabinet labeled Dead Files.
Oh. Well, that's all sorts of just intriguing to me, so I'm going to hop right over to Dead Files.
Yes, and as you pull out the Dead Files, you see the files of kids that have graduated, so you see the previous year's seniors' files in there, kids that have transferred, and you also find the files for Samantha and Melody and Jesse.
What? I'm going to grab out Samantha's file and see if there's any similar markings or anything that would tip me off.
There are, yes. Next to Sam's name is the same marking as on Greg's.
Okay. That's scary as hell. So, are there any sorts of dates associated with these markings?
Nope.
Or is it just that there's a mark?
There's just a mark.
All right. I put the file back. Actually, wait. I take Samantha's file.
Okay.
And then I close it up and probably tuck Samantha's file, like, I don't know, into my pants. It's the best place for it, I suppose, at this point.
Front or back?
Oh, front. Hello. She's a volleyball player. No.
Okay, just checking.
So I go to the door,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm going to listen at the door and see if I can continue to hear this going on.
Yeah, so you listen at the door, and you you overhear Ms. Betty Poole saying, "You know, Mr. Ramirez, maybe you should consider taking an English class that possibly is at a different level. I'm not sure if Wuthering Heights is for you."
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Pretty rough. You can convince me of that.
He's not really into women's lit, to be completely honest.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, I like a lot of, some pictures,
Comic books.
Yeah. Or strips, if comic books are particularly long.
Ah, yes, the funnies.
Yeah.
Would you look at the time? The bell's about to ring for next period, and you needed that
Copy of my report card?
Oh, yes, the copy of your report card, of course.
Yeah. If anyone should be worried about the bell, everyone should be worried about the bell, saying in increasingly loud tones.
I am going to put my hand on the door handle and then just kind of open it just very slightly.
Okay.
Because I don't think that, and you feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that Travis is going to be able to get back up
Oh, good point. Yeah,
because he has nothing to boost himself up with. I mean, he could.
that's fine.
Well, hang on. Do I think that I could get on top of the filing cabinets in here?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, well then I'm going to do that because going out through the office now, because I'll a 16-year-old thinking, that seems way more dangerous and more likely to get caught. So I'll get on top of the filing cabinet. I'll open another ceiling tile, a different one, and then climb up and seal that one, and then put the grate back on the original one.
Okay.
That I went down.
Yes. As she is walking in and also shouting back to Lexi, I do think it would be a great idea if we could share some of our notes, and perhaps next week, once I've finished the book, you could come in during homeroom again for a little chat.
Oh, I would love to. I know there was no honors English course last year, but Mr. Henderson said that I had the best paper in a high school that he'd ever read, and it should have been a college level paper. So I'm sure we can really talk about that.
Yes, of course. Oh, and so she'll dip in to the back records room to fetch your report card, a copy of it for you, just as Travis's feet are, pulling up into the ceiling, the classic. She's looking back through the door, and there's feet going up into the ceiling behind you, and she'll return with your report card.
Thanks so much. I give her my trademark winning smile with perfectly even white teeth because my parents can afford the best in dentistry.
Yes, of course. Yes. Now hurry on to next period, quick, before you're late.
Oh yeah. Later, Betty.
Thank you, Miss Poole.
Goodbye, Mr. Ramirez.
I'm continuing to head it back out through the ceiling back to the original place where I got boosted up.
Yeah, I'm gonna head back there too.
Yes, and you guys can meet back up at that spot just as the bell for next period is ringing. What class would you guys have together next? Definitely not English.
No, it'd have to be like government econ.
Yes, that makes sense.
As Lexi and Greg are walking back, Greg's going to say, yeah, Anne's the best Brown sister. To know Wildfell Hall's masterpiece.
Yeah, you did really well with faking that in there. Good job.
Yeah, I don't understand what's happening at all. I passed English with flying colors.
I know. That was a test. Why did she say you failed it?
I don't know, and Betty loves the OC. She watches it every night. Like, she rewatches episodes.
You know what I think it is? She's got her eye on Mr. Henderson.
Mm.
He doesn't watch TV. He wears tweed.
I hope it's that. Otherwise, something far weirder is going on.
Yeah, I'm trying to rationalize. Let's see if Travis found out anything. We can sit in the back row.
Yeah.
This time.
I land with an oof. And then hustle into government econ. Bad news. Really, really bad news. I kind of unceremoniously go into my pants and retrieve a file.
You've got to stop putting important things in your pants, Travis. It's just creepy.
I didn't have any other ways to put it. I didn't bring a knapsack or a satchel or a backpack.
You probably should. You never know when you're going to need one.
Trench coats are way late 90s. I can't possibly count dead in one.
No, but a knapsack.
This, I put it on the desk, is Samantha's file. It was in a file cabinet called Dead Files.
Wait, what?
See this symbol? I open it up and point to this hourglass symbol with a parallel line across the top of it. This symbol was on her file. It was also on Jesse's file. It was also on Melanie's file. They're all in there, all named Dead Files. Now, normally, Dead Files are just used by the school system to show that those kids aren't in school anymore. Like graduated seniors or people that got kicked out of school or stuff like that. This symbol, I cross-referenced it with the rest of the files that I could see from our class. They have this same mark on your file, Greg.
What?
Greg, you're gonna disappear next.
But I was in the yearbook.
I know. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means anything. Maybe you were picked for some special project or whatever it is they got the rest of this, Samantha and the rest of these people caught up in. And maybe they just didn't get to you yet. But now we know what they're looking for. Now we know who they're after. Not to freak you out or anything, but
Yeah, no, I'm taking it very well. I'm not worried at all.
Like, obviously they did exist. We've got the file, so it's not like they've been erased from existence, so that's a good thing. Right? Elbowing Travis in the ribs, like, right?
well, yeah, right, exactly. I mean,
So Greg's not going to vanish from existence.
I don't think so.
Helping Travis.
Why did Franzi not remember Samantha or Melody or Jesse, though?
Maybe he was pretending.
Maybe because he was told not to remember. Maybe somebody said, listen, Franzi, baby, you can't remember this one, right? Or, I don't know, maybe he grew up in Brazil. There's tons of questions that could be answered by all sorts of things. But the whole point is something happened to Samantha, and she's not dead because we would know about it. There would have been a ABC special about it, or ESPN would have been here, or something.
And it wouldn't make sense for Mr. Franz to just say that she never existed if she was just dead. Unless they're covering up accidents at the school?
Maybe. But we've got the proof now.
But, why them? Samantha had horrible grades. So did Jesse. Just did sports stuff.
Yeah, Melody's smart, though.
So weird. There's got to be something connecting them, and Greg, I guess, if there's that symbol.
Yeah, that's the trouble. So we need to figure out what this symbol means.
Right. We should go to the library. All right. So if you have America Online?
Yeah, I've got AOL at home. We could just get on AOL.
Yeah. We got an America Online. I don't have it.
You know what, though? I've also got Encyclopedia Britannica on CD. We could totally check that, too.
We don't have AOL because Mom said it'll get in the way of my studies, and she wants me to go to Harvard. I do have Rosetta Stone on CD, though. I think that'll help.
Oh, hey, if you ever need the internet, I can help you out. It just takes a little bit of wire. You don't mind your neighbor's phone bill going up, right? That's how I pay for mine.
The Jamesons? No. Their dog barks all night and won't shut up. How am I supposed to get my beauty sleep when this dog just keeps yapping at 3 o'clock in the morning?
I would like it to be noted that the Jamesons don't have AOL, they have Netgear. That they installed from a CD that they got for free at the grocery store.
Yeah, we're sorry, Miranda. I should have read the setting material.
Wait, did AOL come on a CD too?
Yes.
Okay, because I remember that. I remember that vaguely. And my students don't believe me when I tell them the internet came on a CD.
First it came on 3.5, but that's a totally different era.
All right, so yeah, we can do that. Or we can just use, I guess you have AOL at home, Travis?
Sort of, in a way. Yeah.
In your bunker?
I have access to the internet. Let's just put it that way.
Get internet in your bunker?
It's just a phone line. That's all the internet is. It's a series of phone lines. There's a bunch of tubes out there. We've been over this.
Is it safe to have wires down in the bunker, though? They built that back in the 50s.
So, the best part, hands down, of the house Mom and Dad bought was that they bought one of those old ranch houses out here with the people that got freaked out about the atomic bomb. And so, does it leak a little? Sure, but I keep a bedroom down there, and it's not. I keep a bedroom down there obviously because I don't want the CIA scanning my brain 24 hours a day. Okay.
Just don't electrocute yourself down there. They'll never find you. So we need to look up, maybe see if there's anything in the papers or whatever on any of these three.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. These are the only three missing from the yearbook, right, Travis? You took very detailed notes.
As far as I can tell, they're the only three that are missing.
Seriously, Travis, hide the yearbook, because if someone finds that, they're going to think you're a serial killer or something. Don't let them see your notes.
Well, I'm only showing you guys my notes. right? I mean,
But gotta get through econ first.
Yep. So you guys finish out the rest of your school day then with a plan to go to Travis's, as he and you refer to it as the bunker, after school to do a little bit of research. And you finish off the rest of the day more or less without incident. I'm assuming you are all hopping in Lexi's late 80s paneled station wagon, which I believe her parents got her because they thought it would be retro and cool for her to have this.
There's a reason this one's going to be crashed just before my next report card comes in.
but the question is, what do we call it? The car has to have a name.
That's true.
What do we call it?
Yeah, cars have to have names.
Yeah, I mean, this one especially, right? So, like, it's a wood-paneled van. So there's the obvious name of Woody, but that's been used over and over again.
Looking up pictures of a wood-paneled 80s van because I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, it's more of a station wagon.
Okay.
And it's, I would imagine also they like decided to buy you a used car since you crashed the others.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And you will punish them for this punishment that they have inflicted upon you.
Oh, okay. Never seen one of those before, but alright. It looks kind of like a old hearse to me.
I mean,
Call it the hearse.
Yeah, I like the hearse. I was going to suggest
Yeah.
Oh, yes. The Spookbusters ride around in a hearse rather than it's not an ambulance. It's not an old ambulance. It's an old, what you're calling the hearse.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the hearse.
Perfect. Yeah, so you all hop into the hearse after school and head over to Travis's house, where strangely you're greeted by Travis's mom, but also someone that you don't recognize that's around your age. Someone you haven't seen before.
Travis's mom's name.
Stephanie?
Hello, yes, Travis, Greg, Lexi. Travis, you remember that your cousin from the old country was coming to visit. Your cousin Hugo?
Do I remember having a cousin Hugo from the old country?
No, you sure don't.
Oh,
Hello, Travis. It is I, your cousin Hugo.
hi, Hugo. I look at my mom. I switch my view from Hugo from the old country to my mom and say, what's going on?
Well, he's your second aunt and uncle. Hugo's coming to visit for the summer.
It looks like he's here.
He is, yeah. I was hoping you guys could show him around, take him to any gatherings, just, being gracious hosts.
Okay. Yeah, so I turn to Greg. This is Hugo, this is Greg, my friend.
Yes, hello,
then-
Greg. Hello, Lexi.
Right.
Oh, you already know Lexi.
Well, yes, no, but, you see, Travis's mother just said Lexi's name was Lexi, so I made assumption.
I'd lean over and whisper to Travis, do we have any garlic?
I'm sure there's some in the kitchen.
Now I'm gonna do this by having you all roll a brains check.
All right.
We'll just see who gets the highest.
Got an 8. Oh, I should roll again since I got the 8.
Yeah.
It's a 9.
I have a 12.
10 total.
So Travis, you look at Hugo and your eyes meet. And in your mind, you flash to whatever it was that your brain can't quite comprehend what you saw out at Blood's Point. And it's almost as if that incomprehensible image is overlaid with Hugo in the moment. And Hugo, in this moment, making eye contact with you, deadpans and shakes his head no.
Oh boy. I step back just like probably a perceptible, 6 or so inches. Like, I need to use the bathroom. I scramble around Hugo and my mom.
Yes, I also need to use the bathroom.
Yeah, well, it's only a one personer, so you're gonna have to wait.
That's fine. I will wait outside door for you to finish.
I hustle inside the house, completely creeped out. I run inside the house.
With Hugo following.
I run inside the house, and I probably do the kid thing where, like, when another kid is chasing you, like the pace starts at one amount and then slowly speeds up until like I'm basically like long striding through the hallways here to get to the bathroom to slam the door and lock it.
Yeah.
Because I'm imagining in my mind like he's gonna come and try to barricade the door down, and whether he is or not.
Yes. So you guys see him take off into the house, claiming he has to go to the bathroom. Hugo following behind, also claiming he has to go to the bathroom.
I look at Greg. Like, I'd say, what's eating him? But I think it's going to be Hugo.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hello, Greg. Don't worry. I made sure to. I stocked up on your favorite snacks. I know we were almost out last time. But I made sure, and I also I recorded. In case you didn't see the OC, I recorded the episode for you.
Just typical of my relationship with Stephanie.
Can I just ask, what is the old country Hugo's from? Is it like Transylvania, by any chance?
I don't know whether, I think he is my husband's, second nephew. You'd have to talk to him.
Okay, that's very helpful, thank you. I was just wondering because I have a geography test coming up, and I was wondering if
he could probably help you with that.
Yeah, he could probably tell me some things. On if it sounds like maybe Central Europe, he could maybe give me some help with studying for my geography test. So
yeah,
okay.
that'd be
great.
That sounds like a great idea. Yes, you kids head on inside, have fun.
Yeah. Hugo seems cool and normal, and everything about what's happening right now is cool.
Yeah, so much. So cool and normal.
Travis, I know that you are scared and have hidden in bathroom now, but I want to let you know that everything is going to be okay.
Yeah, sure it is. I call from inside. I'm probably not even using the bathroom. I'm like into the linen closet in there, like hunting down chemicals to figure out like how I'm gonna, concoct something in here because I'm in full on panic mode. If it's the thing that I think I saw, or maybe I didn't see out at that weird point, Blood's Point place, I want to have nothing to do with this guy. I bet you're not even related to us.
Family is a relative term, no pun intended, but it could mean many things. We're all related in a sense, but I just promise you that I mean you no harm. I'm here to help you and your friends. We met the other night. You definitely do remember it now.
I'm texting Lexi like from the bathroom, like T9. I'm trapped. Please help.
Do you have one of those keypads where you have to hit the key like three times to get to the different letters? Yeah.
That would be T9. And yeah, so I used one of my 20 monthly text messages to text her.
And Lexi's the only person in the school that has an unlimited plan at this point in time.
Greg, I think we need to rescue Travis from the Transylvanian vampire.
Okay.
We've got a distress call.
All right, yeah. I did not receive it due to still not owning a cell phone.
Have one of these days. Dad says everyone's going to have them one day. They're just going to be in your pocket. Can you imagine? Everyone's going to have a phone. Mom says he's nuts, but...
Is that where Lexi's family gets all their money?
Yeah.
Her dad works for Big Cell Phone.
And her mom works for Big Automobile, hence all the cars.
Why do you think Travis is secretly friends with her? Because he knows that her dad works for the big telecom people.
Travis, I know you are scared, but you may have noticed some strange things happening lately.
Yeah, like people who aren't family showing up at my front door.
Okay, I meant other strange things, but the fact that you are noticing them is very important. I am the reason why you notice things.
I'm still going to I'm probably staring like at my phone, still holding out hope that like my friends are going to come save me from the bathroom and this thing.
Oh, hello, Greg, Lexi. How are you today?
Good, man. We just thought we'd stand outside the bathroom while our friend was going to the bathroom. That seemed like a thing we do.
Oh, do you have to go too? I was just waiting in line.
Yeah, I keep telling Stephanie that they really need to get a house with more than one bathroom because seriously, this is just ridiculous. This is how poor people live. Like one bathroom? What are we, a third world country?
Oh, yes, I was surprised to see any bathroom anywhere. But that is neither here or there. I do have important topic to talk to all three of you about.
Use outhouses in Transylvania still?
Okay, this brings me to next point. Okay, look, I'm here to help you and your friend Travis as well.
I opened the door.
Yes, hello, Travis.
So maybe we should go talk in private?
Yeah, I suppose.
Because you're being weird, Hugo.
Yes, let's go to place you call Bunker.
Wait, how do you know about that?
I think he can read your mind, Travis. You might want to get your tinfoil hat out.
Look, let's just go talk in other place.
Fine.
Just go to the bunker. You guys have a bunch of like corn and stuff there, like canned goods.
The spam.
Plus good snacks out there.
It's got jerky too. Did you restock the jerky after last time?
Yes, I restocked the jerky.
Sweet. Dad never lets me have jerky. Says it ruins my teeth. I can only get it from Travis.
So yeah, we will head down to the bunker.
So where is the bunker located in relation to your house? Is it in or outside of your house?
No, it's outside of the house, right? So it is there near the garage. There is basically a piece of the yard that is the cover plate for this place where you walk down. Now it's not an actual atomic bunker, obviously, but it is one that was kind of half done, and I have probably retrofitted it with like a lot of older furniture. It has like a concrete floor to it. It probably smells a little earthy down there, but there's like a boom box down there, and I keep, like a spare computer down there.
Awesome. Now, we need to flesh out Hugo a little bit as a character. So this is an introduction of the concept from Kids on Bikes known as a powered character. So Hugo is here to help or sometimes hinder, but a powered character is a character that has shared control. So mostly you guys control Hugo. I'm just kind of the voice and sometimes actions of Hugo as well, but Hugo has some aspects to him that you can all utilize or call upon or say, oh, it'd be funny if he did this because of this aspect of him at any time. So I'm actually going to draw some cards, 2 per each of you, that you can use to control Hugo. So I have shuffled these a bit, so I'm going to draw some cards for you. So Mike, you know that Hugo is both dexterous, that might come in handy, and also that he lashes out when touched. So those are 2 aspects that you control. Now, say Rena thinks that would lashes out when touched could come in handy. They would then say, oh, let's use lashes out when touched. Mike would be in charge of controlling it, but you can call on lashes out when touched. So lashes out when touched and dexterous for Mike. Rena, Hugo is unusually hungry.
Hungry for what?
Who knows?
This is not helping my theory that he's Dracula.
And also immediately bonded to a member of the group. And I'm going to say, since we pulled this for Lexi, Hugo is going to be immediately bonded to Lexi. So Hugo now shares a special affection for Lexi.
I mean, why wouldn't he?
Why not? Yeah. And Mr. Diesel, Hugo's really good at reading people. That could come in handy. And Hugo's also willing to sell the use of his powers.
Alright.
Now, Hugo also has 1 special ability. And Hugo's special ability is that Hugo is able to create false memories in others. The victims will believe these memories absolutely. So Hugo starts with 7 power points. It costs 2d4 for you to use this skill, which you guys can have him use anytime you want to. He can create false memories. So
Sweet.
yes, hello friends. I must say a special thanks to all of you, especially you, Lexi. You found me. You found me out at Blood's Point, and you helped to free me, and as such, I will help to free you as well from this wretched place.
Hey, the bunker's not all that bad.
No, I mean this town.
Okay, yes, this town is wretched.
Do you not realize strange things happen in your town? I thought I did that thing where you will remember now.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anybody here that charts the strange shit that goes on in this town, it's me.
Yeah,
I gestured to the board on the wall.
he does have a murder board.
It's not a murder board. It's...
But that's what they call it on TV.
Yeah, first of all, don't believe everything you see on TV. Second of all, and more importantly...
It was on CSI.
See, this is how the Illuminati train you. They get you to watch these shows, and then you believe that that's how things go. And then you suddenly find the files of your friends in a cabinet marked dead files. I put the file down on the table.
Yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about.
But I don't know you.
Well, we have met before, though.
I think I'd remember that. I have a very good eye for faces.
Perhaps you repressed memory. Do you remember what happened to you out
You're
at...
not that ugly.
Well, thank you, Lexi. I don't think you are that unattractive either, if we're being honest with each other. But, okay, that's neither here nor there. Sorry, I get lost in your beautiful eyes. But, okay, so if you remember what happened out at Blood Point?
There, it was a weird, creepy place.
Yes.
But it was also kind of boring, and we came home.
Yeah, so I came back with you.
No. Greg tried to bring a snake back into the car. Were you a snake?
No, I was not snake. But while you were there, if you remember running away from whatever it was that you saw, what you saw was me, and you were kind enough to break, rune, carved on something on ground, and now you free me, and now I help free you.
Oh, is that why my blue sequin stilettos are broken? The heel's broken off. It looked like it.
Yes, I'm very sorry about that part.
Oh.
I was wondering where I got Christian Lars the Snake.
Yes, I know this was traumatic experience for you, and clearly you've all repressed the memory. But I must assure you I mean you no harm, and I'm here to help you with whatever it is that's going on in this strange place.
Okay, so what's causing the kids to disappear?
Well, a long time ago I was hired by Cult to change memories of people, but I believe they found a source of my power when I no longer want to work for them because I realized, oh, you guys kidnapping and killing children. I did not want to work for them anymore, and so they then trap me. They do binding ritual out by Blood's Point, and so then I trapped out there. So I don't know what has happened specifically over past 150 to 200 years, but I am here now.
Are you one of those Freemasons that Travis keeps talking about?
I don't think so.
Okay, a couple of things really quick. Trapping and killing kids?
Yes. Kids that they did not believe aligned with their system of values or what they wanted, you might call them bad kids.
You were hired by a cult. What cult? Which one?
I don't ask questions. They were just paying me, so I'm very willing to sell my powers, apparently. So they hire me out, and I'm Ancient Spirit.
Wait, what powers are you talking about?
Well, I can change people's memories, and occasionally, like I do with you, I can unlock the memory so that they cannot be changed. I blocked your memories from being changed.
Did you block the memories of people at school so they don't remember who Samantha is?
Well, I unblocked your memories so they can't block your memories, so they can't make you think Samantha not a real person. You will remember Samantha is the real person rather than them be able to change your memories.
Oh, that's why Franz and Betty and no one can remember everybody. It's because the cult changed the memories.
Yeah, that tracks with my previous knowledge of them.
What's a corn man?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I've been asleep and trapped for like 150, 200 years, so quite a bit of appetite, actually. Some corn sounds pretty good.
Greg's going to open up one of the cans of corn that they have there as non-perishable food items.
I imagine it's like one of those big cans, too.
Yeah, he's going to have a spoon, and then just give a spoon to Hugo.
Yeah, and Hugo just starts digging in. He's just shoveling. Do you have bigger spoon?
Well, it's a share size, Hugo.
Oh, do you want some corn?
I'm good. I want to figure out how we get Samantha back. And the rest of them.
Oh, I don't know if we can.
Why?
Sorry, I went pretty fast over the murder part. Well, if things are the same now as like 200, 150 years ago, they probably are gone.
Okay, but they marked Greg's file with that same symbol. I point to it on the file folder. What does that mean?
He's not dead.
Well, no, but looks like he is marked to be next. So I would say unless we figure out who is doing this, sorry, Greg.
Greg, maybe that's why Miss Poole thought you failed English. Like they're manipulating the memory somehow to make you seem like a loser, and then the next thing is you're gone. First you fail English, and then you disappear.
Yeah, Franz, he doesn't like me. We're not friends anymore. I don't know why.
Maybe that's how they make sure people don't notice that there's something missing in their memories. They first make people not like you or dislike you or something, and then the next step is making you disappear.
Right.
Now, it sounds like Eraser Brain here just steps in and removes you from their memory.
In a Bugs Bunny cartoon?
Yeah. Okay, Hugo. So, why are you helping me? Why do you want to help us?
I feel like you're very important, and also, like I said before, I've regretted doing what I did back then, and you freed me, so now I have to help you.
Okay, well.
Also, I could never let anything bad befall Lexi. She's just too perfect and too important.
Well, yes, that's true.
But there's got to be a way to save Sam and Jesse and Melody. Like, where'd they take these people before they murder them?
Maybe they're not dead yet. Maybe they're just kidnapped.
Well, there used to be a place that I know that they did their rituals. I could probably take you there.
Yeah, that's got to be the place where this stuff is going on then. And if we can't, for whatever reason, get Samantha back, then we keep him from doing it ever again. I mean, furthermore, we tell the whole world about it. Blow the thing wide open.
Right.
How do we do that if they don't remember?
Well, they can't mess with the memories now. We got Hugo over here, right?
Yes, I will protect your memory.
Well, look. We gotta find Sam. I know she was a bit of a chicken brain, but she was our friend, and, she got us all the best tickets at the movie theater, so if she's still there, we gotta find her and get her out of there, and if she's not, her parents probably don't know she exists, and we gotta fix that. That's horrible.
I don't particularly like Jesse, but I did promise I would smell him later.
Okay, well, we will head out tonight then to the place. If I believe I can remember directions to get there.
Take the hearse. Travis, no dressing up like a 19th century Undertaker this time, please.
It's like the only outfit I have to go out at night.
I know, but the top hat with the tails.
Okay, fine. I'll ditch the top hat, but the tails are coming with. They're a fashion accessory. Even you can appreciate that.
You have to let him have this.
All right, but it's only fancy when it's appropriate to the setting. Oh, okay,
Important to him.
fine, just not the hat.
Fine, not the hat. Hey, listen, it worked for Gary Oldman in Bram Stoker's Dracula. You have to admit.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves not so much. The hat worked for him.
Okay, yeah, that's the plan. Then we'll set out this evening to see what we can find out and see if we can stop this dangerous cult.
All right. And so I think we'll end our episode here, and you can rejoin us next time when we confront the cult and whatever wicked is happening here in Eastwick.
And a special thank to our patron backers, one of which we have in channel Al. So thank you for joining us. And we will see you next episode.